guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another first impression of a new foundation. You guys know I love doing these. Today's is of the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation, and I've been wanting to try this for a while now because NYX has come out with a foundation that is supposed to be super buildable. So you use one drop for more of that sheer, more natural coverage, and you can do 4 drops for a full coverage and 5 and beyond drops for total coverage. So you guys know I had to put it to a test today. I'm currently wearing it right now. I'm going to switch over to me with no makeup on and we're going to start a demo so I can show you what it looks like. But before we get started, if you guys are new here, make sure to click subscribe. I post new videos every week. I also have Instagram, Snapchat. My usernames for both are TrinaDuhra. I'll put my snap code right here. You can add me super easily with this. And I will leave links to all of my socials in my description box for you guys. The shade that I'll be using is Classic Tan, and there are 24 different shades to choose from, which I think is amazing for drugstore. And there's a really fair shade and a really deep skin shade. NYX sent me a box. The lightest shade is called Pale and the darkest shade is Deep Espresso. There is a shade in this range for everyone, which is awesome. This is a 13 ml bottle, which is kind of unusual because the standard for most foundations is 30 mils. I don't know, maybe you gotta use less product. On the website it says, fine-tune this velvety matte foundation with the included dropper. Simply adjust the number of drops until you create the look you're feeling today. Want more coverage? Add more drops. And the price of this is $14. I'm gonna apply it to my finger first and then just dab that on there. And then I'm actually going to use this brush that NYX sent me. This is number 22. I'm not usually this kind of brush kind of gal for applying foundation, but I see so many girls use this and the coverage they get is amazing, so there's got to be something to it. So I'm going to use this to blend it out. See, that's usually the reason why I don't use one of these, because I feel like maybe it soaks up all the product. So either that just happened or I just applied a very light amount, which I think actually might be the case. So that didn't go so well. I don't really know how many drops we're on right now, probably 2. I would drop it in here, but I know it's gonna soak up all the product. Okay, so the color I think is pretty good. It's blending into the neck pretty nicely. It might be a little bit too dark. Feels really smooth on the skin, very lightweight. You can't tell that you even applied product. But I want to see how this builds, so do some more drops. I'm going to kind of stipple this on instead. I'm going to give that like 30 seconds to sit on the skin and then I'll apply another drop, because sometimes when you apply too much at first, you're just rubbing the product around. So far it has a very natural finish and it's definitely started to set into the skin, so let's go in with drop number 4. Even with 4 layers, there is no sign of like that thick cakey look. It's still not full. Like, I don't think that even 4 drops of this is full, because you guys know what I consider full coverage. So I'm gonna continue to add more on and see how buildable this gets. By the way, just check out how liquidy it is when I do that. Whoa! Oh, okay, maybe that wasn't so smart. Oh, in the brow, in the brow, in the brow. I am really impressed, not with the amount of coverage, but more so with how amazing it's making my skin look. The smoothing factor is brilliant. It's supposed to be a velvety matte finish. I do agree with that because my skin's not as liquidy and shiny as it is when it is first applied. It's starting to give you more of that velvety satin finish, but it's not like super matte or anything, because you could definitely still see a glow. I'm kind of tempted to use the Beauty Blender for this side. I think they both apply equally as well, so say you're just not a brush girl or you're not a sponge girl, you can do one or the other and achieve the same results. But I just want to give you guys a time check. It's currently 12:34. That's where my skin's at as of right now. A very natural medium coverage. I definitely don't think it's total coverage, but I still like how my skin looks. Quick update, I just had to report to you guys that I just finished doing my eyes, my under eye concealer, and the foundation has now completely set. It turns into like a powdery finish, and it does give you more of that matte finish, but it's not like a flat matte. It definitely has some nice radiance to it. I don't even think I'm going to set this. I'm just going to lightly go in with some powder, probably the Laura Mercier translucent powder under the eyes. The one thing I'm not really feeling right now is how it's sitting in these lines and around my nose because I didn't set it. This is so gross. Real TMI, but we are going there. You see that streak of foundation that's just sitting in between my nose, like right around my nostril. You do have to kind of just dab that back in. And up on my forehead, it's giving my skin a really dry look, and it's really pulling forward my fine lines and wrinkles. I'm gonna try taking a photo with flash, and this didn't really used to matter to me until as of recently that I'm trying to look for like my perfect foundation for my wedding. Dang, okay. This is with no powder at all, and I don't look super shiny. When I really look at it, my face does look a little bit lighter than my neck, so there might possibly be some flashback with this. So here's the agenda. I'm going to continue to wear this foundation, and I will check back later, and I will show you how it wore throughout the day. It is 6:09, and I am super duper shiny. Taking one layer of a tissue and removing the oil. Overall, I think the skin's, I'm blocking you with this gigantor mirror. The skin still looks pretty good. I'm just gonna take a little powder, tap it back into the skin. I'm gonna continue to wear it for a little bit longer, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts. Way too late. That's crazy. I've been wearing this for 10 hours. I would have had this off sooner, but then Andy and I started getting into wedding plans. Let's get down to details. I'm back to shiny again, not as much as before. I do think this is a foundation that you need to absolutely use a powder with if you are more on the oilier side like I am. I've also got a lot of creasing going on around the expression lines around the mouth, the forehead right here. Ooh, I'm kind of like moving it around. Let's get right into the details. I got my pros and cons ready. First one, it looked way better than I thought it was going to at first. I'm not even gonna lie. It provided way more coverage than I thought it was going to, because when I first applied it, I thought there's no way this super liquidy consistency is gonna build up to how I like it, and it did. I love how smooth it made my skin look, and I thought the coverage lasted fairly well. Now the cons, it looked and felt pretty greasy. It settled into my fine lines, so again, I already kind of pointed that out. I did like the coverage. Like, I liked how it made my skin look. I just don't think I agree with the total cover that it claims to have. Am I mad at the coverage? No. I would still recommend it. It just comes down to how you prep your skin. So if you're more dry, the best way to use this is just use a really hydrating moisturizer and primer, and treat the areas specifically with your primers that you get really dry on. If you're oily, exact same thing, just more of a mattifying moisturizer, mattifying primer. Make sense? I hope so. I think the only thing I gotta tweak is the color, because this just did not pan out for me, so I'm gonna have to do a little mixing. I hope you guys liked this first impression. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You guys can also click this box to check out my vlog channel. It's called Life with Trina. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.